New York, and lying and saying he'd never been to his house. Turns out he basically lives there. That's who these freaks are, these psychotics. Epstein was just a butler who ran private, pervert, pedophile hotels. That's why he had 7-story buildings in New York worth $75 million. That's why he had giant palatial estates in Pennsylvania and California and New Mexico and Europe, because he stocked them full of women and little girls. And worse, they like to have snuff parties in the temples. You don't just think they screw little kids, do you? They like to chop them up. They like them to beg for mommy. And what has General Flynn's respected lawyer said? She's talked to the NYPD face-to-face, the officers that saw it, and they said the videos on Weiner's laptop are so horrible that they would vomit and could only watch one a day. Well, when you're watching toddlers get electrocuted and stuff, it's not fun if you're not a Satanist. Okay, so remember, these guys want to put stuff in your body, though, because they want to rape your soul. It's all about rape. So here's a little clip from James Corbett's excellent Part 3 series on Bill Gates and the control grid. And you can pull up all these clips from MIT. Here it is.
Ways to permanently store and record the vaccination information of each individual. The result of their research was a new vaccine delivery method. They found that by using dissolvable microneedles that deliver patterns of near-infrared light-emitting microparticles to the skin, they could create particle patterns in the skin of vaccine recipients, which are invisible to the eye, but can be imaged using modified smartphones. Rice University describes the quantum dot tags left behind by the microneedles as something like a barcode tattoo. So who was behind this development? As lead researcher Kevin McHugh explains, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation came to us and said, "Hey, we have a real problem, knowing who's vaccinated." So our idea was to put the record on the person. This way, later on, people can scan over the area to see what vaccines have been administered and give only the ones still needed. The microparticles that form the fluorescent quantum dot tags are delivered along with the vaccine, but they cannot be delivered by a traditional syringe. Instead, they must be delivered by a patch of microneedles made from a mixture of dissolvable sugar and a polymer called PVA, as well as the quantum dot in the vaccine. It should be no surprise, then, that big pharma vaccine manufacturers, in their scramble to produce the coronavirus vaccine that, Gates assures us, is necessary to go back to normal, have turned to a novel vaccine delivery method, a dissolvable microneedle array patch.
And again, that's just Rice. MIT is way ahead of it, also funded by Bill and Melinda Gates. So, again, big articles about how he doesn't want that, but there they are telling you that's who funded him to do it. This man is a criminal liar. And let's just show the news today of him being a criminal liar. Researchers retract study linking malaria pill to heart attack. Bloomberg, Bill and Melinda Gates financed the study.
Man, get this fucking
hydroxychloroquine would kill you and help you. Well, everyone saw it. Turns out it's all fraud, no data, totally made up, scientific scam. Just like the test that said everybody had COVID around the country, where their facility now shut down. Total fraud. Amazon censors former New York Times reporter's book exposing COVID-19 lockdowns. Hours after Elon Musk says time to break up Amazon after company bans Alex Bernson's book on unreported truths about COVID-19, which shows government documents and proof it's a total, absolute, giant hoax by Bill and Melinda Gates. Now, after massive pressure, Washington Post reports Amazon reverses ban on book critical of coronavirus lockdown after the decision is blasted by many, including Elon Musk. Meanwhile, man sickest in his life after taking experimental vaccine. Robert F. Kennedy writes, he links to it all. The guy hired by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and Fauci to be the spokesperson for the vaccine, took it and almost died and was paralyzed. Might want to go read that for yourself. Meanwhile, former MI6 head says coronavirus is man-made, released from a lab. And why is that important?
Someone else now.
It's a simulant. You do catch it, you do spread it, you do come up positive for it, but unless you are totally
cold virus
deficient in key vitamins and minerals, you cannot even get sick from it.
The CRISPR.
We'll be right back with breaking bombshells on this same subject. Bill Gates publicly funded the studies in England and the United States saying 2.5 million dead Americans. He funded the studies all over the world putting out similar fake numbers. All of that was a total fraud. Then they finance testing kits in China and in the United States, and the fact checkers work for Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and run the Wuhan lab coronavirus research and run, again, the fact checking to control the American people so that we couldn't expose what they'd done. So they launched the crime, they launched the reporting, they launched the hysteria, they launched the fraudulent test, they control the lab, they control the Facebook, Twitter, Google fact checkers, who are then God. And so members of the Senate, medical doctors, hospital owners, Cedars-Sinai come out and say, this is baloney, here's our numbers, and they get banned. So this is a corporate dictatorship, a corporate move, and Bill Gates said it months after I said it was clear. I just point that out because it's so obvious. On Colbert a month ago, he said, oh, this is just pretty much a drill. We're using this for the next big one that'll be a biological weapon from terrorists. It'll be much worse. And then him and Colbert start laughing and giggling. Like, I heard your grandma's got cancer. Oh, I heard hundreds of millions are gonna die. These are sickos flaunting it in your face. They're totally turned over to evil. And now, oh, it comes out, doctors in New York and doctors in California and Texas and doctors in Australia and doctors in Israel and doctors in Russia and doctors in France and doctors in England and doctors in Scotland and doctors in Mexico and doctors in Brazil and doctors everywhere, doctors in Africa, say we have basically 100% recovery rate when people get hydroxychloroquine with zinc. You can get sick on hydroxychloroquine without the zinc because it'll pull other stuff out of your cells and put it into your cells. And, of course, they financed the fraudulent study. And we went and looked at it and said they don't even give their data. But it was shown by the news, oh, that hydroxychloroquine, that'll kill you. I even had family go, well, I heard conflicting stuff, Alex. You're not a doctor. You know, are you sure zinc's okay? And I'm like, listen, here's the NIH website saying it's essential for cell division, cell operation, and cell defense against viruses. And my own family member went, wow. Because people think it's like weird to be informed. It's weird to go read the study and find out Bill Gates funded it. It's weird to look at it and has no data. So I told you 2.5 months ago that that study was a fraud. It's now been withdrawn and is a total fraud. And again, I'm not up here saying I'm incredible, I'm smart. People used to all be like me. They went out, they did research, they checked into things, they didn't believe the establishment. If Bill Gates told you the sky was blue, you should question it. And then a prestigious investigative journalist puts all this together in a book. It's published books at Amazon before. They just agree to let you publish it. They've got NAMBLA on there publishing books about having sex with children. That's okay. Drag queen story time's okay. But you, as a famous former New York Times investigative journalist who's highly respected, you aren't allowed to put your book out here. Because they said the fact checkers have said it is not approved. By who? And they said, it's in the article, the WHO. So the United Nations World Health Organization, almost exclusively funded by Bill and Melinda Gates and the Communist Chinese, since Trump pulled out, rightfully so, is in control of what books you can read. And Elon Musk is 100% right. Time to break up Amazon after company bans Alex Burdenson's book on unreported truths about COVID-19. They're wrecking the economy. They're even bankrupting Walmart. It's a giant, huge monopoly. He got $30 billion in bailouts. Jeff Bezos. He gives in charity each year 0.01%. That's like the average person giving, I think it says here, $87 a year. But, oh, he funds Black Lives Matter, though. He's liberal. And he's going to have the Davos group tell you about inequities and how to get rid of capitalism and have a better system, and how if we just get rid of all the police, well, everything will be wonderful then. Well, yeah, if we went back to everybody being armed and having the sheriff's department that vetted people to then go out and go after criminals, but you get rid of the police now, this country will disintegrate in every blue area because the citizens aren't armed, the criminals are, and that's the next thing I'm going to cover when we start the next hour. Then I'm going to go to your phone calls on all these subjects. But here's the biggest thing I've said in months, and I just want this to go across to all of you, for myself, for you, for your family, wherever you are in the world.